What is up, my friends? Welcome to Flippin' Bats. It is time for the Tokyo series. It gets underway in just a few hours. We have two games, the first two real games of the Major League Baseball season starting in Tokyo this year. So if you're in the United States, we get two games Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time, 6:10 to be specific. So I am on the West Coast. They will be starting at 3:10 a.m. Pacific time, and you best believe I will be up and watching. So this will be a Tokyo series preview, everything you need to know. We will also be doing shows after each game and letting you know everything that happened. But the season starts. Tokyo series getting underway. Shohei Ohtani going back to Japan, which is important enough to bring back the shirt. I know he's wearing an Angels hat. I don't care. This is the iconic Shohei Ohtani shirt. He's heading back to Japan. So are a bunch of other Japanese-born players. We're getting some incredible pitching matchups. Speaking of pitching, there's a Shohei Ohtani pitching update that might not be the best news in the world. But let's talk Tokyo series first. It gets underway here in just a few hours. I will be waking up and watching it in the middle of the night here, and it's going to be awesome. So, Dodgers and Cubs is how this season is starting, and it is starting in the Tokyo Dome in Japan, which is going to be just iconic. Baseball in Japan is an obsession, it's a passion, it's everything you could ever want the game of baseball to be. So Dodgers and Cubs are both over there. Dodgers and Cubs have both been playing exhibition games. Dodgers on Saturday played the Yomiuri Giants, and on Sunday played the Hanshin Tigers. And in reverse for the Cubs. Cubs on Saturday played the Hanshin Tigers, and then the Yomiuri Giants on Sunday. Game one, just a few hours away. This pitching matchup is iconic. Season starting in Japan, game one, Dodgers Cubs. We get Yoshinobu Yamamoto against Shota Imanaga. Now, both of these guys just came over to Major League Baseball last year for their first season in Major League Baseball. Yamamoto, very good. Really good year, really good, great in the playoffs. Imanaga, even better. Shota Imanaga had a fantastic first season in Major League Baseball, and now these two get to start the year and get to start their season number two back in Japan, which is going to be awesome. So I can't wait for that pitching matchup. We get that in just a few hours in game one. In game two, we're going to get Roki Sasaki versus Justin Steele. Justin Steele, stud for the Cubs. Roki Sasaki, young phenom superstar, first start in Major League Baseball, which is just so sick. How cool is it that Roki Sasaki's first start in Major League Baseball, after everything that happened this offseason and the complicated posting situation, and finally coming over and deciding on his team, his first start in Major League Baseball will take place in the Tokyo Dome. There have been 10 regular season Major League Baseball games ever played in the Tokyo Dome in history. There's been just about 250,000 regular season Major League Baseball games, and 10 have ever been played in the Tokyo Dome. And now Roki Sasaki, in his first ever Major League start, after growing up in Japan and becoming this phenom in MPB and showing the world during the World Baseball Classic how good he is. And then the complicated posting situation where he hadn't spent enough time over there and can't sign a big deal over here, but the team had to let him go. They did let him go. He finally signs, and now his first game as a Major League Baseball pitcher will be back in the Tokyo Dome. I can't wait to see him take the mound and to watch him take on the Cubs in his first start. It is going to be so cool seeing him do that in Japan. Shohei Ohtani, heading back. The best player in the sport, the best player in the world, a global superstar. This game has grown exponentially because of him. He is the greatest baseball player of all time. And now he returns home, gets to go back to Japan, play in Tokyo, in the Tokyo Dome in a Dodgers uniform, his first time wearing a Major League Baseball uniform, playing in Japan. I just can't I can't wait to see him go back. What it means for him, what it means for Japan, Shohei is idolized in Japan. He is every word that you could possibly think of. He's a superstar there. He is a hero there. He talked about this in an interview, but just how much it means when kids come up to him saying they want to be him someday. They want to be like Shohei. They want to play like Shohei. And I remember this from my time being over there and visiting Japan. And when I was filming the thing we did with Shohei, where I interviewed him for an hour, and I went over to Japan, to Tokyo, to Iwate, to Hanamaki Higashi High School, to Mizusawa Little League, everything. Went over there, and one thing rung true to me over and over, and it was that Shohei is truly a hero. One, baseball means everything to people in Japan. It's incredible. And Shohei Ohtani, on top of that, means everything to them. And I had kid after kid at his little league come up and say, I want to be Shohei. I want to be like him. I grow up playing where he did, and I want to be like him. But one thing that stood out to me the most was this woman when I was at the Tokyo Dome. This woman traveled 3 hours to meet me, which is insane. But the story she told is basically that people in Japan don't want to be like Shohei. This is a woman that said people want to be Shohei Ohtani. I want to be Shohei Ohtani. And that's what he means to the sport, to the country. And now he gets to return there in a Dodgers uniform. And his first game over there, second at bat, he homered in the exhibition game. The Tokyo Dome was going absolutely bonkers. And I can't quite put into words. As somebody that has been there and being this voice in the United States for people in Japan that listen to this show, Flippin' Bats is often the #1 baseball podcast in all of Japan. And when I was over there filming that show, it was the #1 sports podcast in Japan, all of sports. And it was so emotional to have so many people come up and say, thank you for sharing the same passion that we do for Shohei Ohtani over in the United States. And it's just the most incredible feeling. And for him to be heading back and playing baseball in Japan again in the Tokyo Dome, it's powerful. It's special. So he did it. He sat down for an interview the other day, and he said, coming back this time and starting the year here is going to be really special for me. I hope it becomes an unforgettable year for me. So then when asked about that, it's kind of like every year has been unforgettable. You won MVP last year. What does an unforgettable year for you look like? Because Shohei had 54 homers last year. He stole 59 bases. He was an MVP. He won the World Series in his first year with the Dodgers. So what does that look like? And he said, well, the goal for the Dodgers is obviously to go back-to-back and be back-to-back champs. But personally this year, I'm returning to the mound as a pitcher. So I want to approach that carefully and while also making sure to deliver solid results to the batter, is what he said. So what does this year look like? Who knows? I can't wait to see him back on the mound. But there is an update when it comes to Shohei Ohtani on the mound, and that is that he was originally scheduled to return to the mound in May, and I don't exactly know what that looks like now because he has slowed down the process of his rehab on the mound. In his words, he wanted a little bit of a breather, both mentally and physically. One thing I do want to reiterate is that everything was seemingly going well with his rehab. This doesn't appear to be an injury setback or some pain in terms of a setback. He just wanted to slow things down a little bit mentally and physically, which makes sense, right? Like he's starting the year back in Japan, traveling back to Japan, starting the season, trying to get ready as a designated hitter while also trying to ramp up pitching wise and throw his flat grounds and his bullpens and all of that. And it makes sense to me to just take a bit of a step back, slow down that process a little bit, and enjoy the beginning of the season with you going back home to play in Japan. But that is the update there. Does that mean he's still on track to get back in May? I don't know. He was originally scheduled to get back in May, but has now slowed down his rehab process for both his mental and physical, both mentally and physically. So we'll see what that means. But hopefully, no cause for alarm, nothing going wrong there. But we will not see Shohei Ohtani pitching in the Tokyo series back in Japan. That was never expected to be the case. He will be DHing, he will be playing, and he will be larger than life. He hit that homer there on Saturday, and the place was going nuts. It was so cool to see. Obviously, so many Babe Ruth comparisons with Shohei. He was asked about that the other day as well. And then he said, Babe Ruth is one of the players I respect. Being compared to him is very special to me. Look, this guy is shouldering the responsibility of an entire nation when it comes to the game of baseball. The game of baseball has grown exponentially, not only in Japan because of him, but around the world. Baseball has grown in the United States because of Shohei. Baseball has grown in Japan because of Shohei. So he has that, I don't want to call it a burden, but he has that on his shoulders of an entire country rallying around him when it comes to this sport. And now we get to see him back in Japan. It's so powerful to me. How can it not be? The greatest player any of us have ever watched play. And when I say that, I don't mean like, you know what I mean. I think Barry Bonds is the greatest hitter of all time. So if you've seen Barry Bonds play baseball, you've seen the greatest hitter of all time. The greatest all-around player to ever play baseball, I think, is Shohei Ohtani. And we're getting to watch him now go back and start the season in Japan, where he's from. This is going to be incredible. I think this is the most important. This is the biggest Major League Baseball game that has ever happened in Japan, and we're going to get to watch that here in just a few hours. But it's not just Shohei returning home. Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, Shota Imanaga, Seiya Suzuki, Imanaga and Suzuki, both with the Cubs. We're going to see all of these guys in this series. Obviously, Shohei DHing and playing every game. Yamamoto starting game 1. Sasaki starting game 2. Imanaga starting game 1. Suzuki starting both games in the outfield. So just such a huge Japanese influence in this series, and I think it's going to be really cool to watch them all take the field. When it comes to some other players in this series, everyone knows the name Mookie Betts. Everybody's well aware of who Mookie Betts is. He will not be playing in the Tokyo series, unfortunately. This had a stomach flu virus, has had a stomach flu virus for the last week or so. It's caused him to lose 15 pounds. He's still quite weak from this. He's trying to get rehydrated, trying to gain his strength back, but he's not going to be playing in the Tokyo series. And I worry a little bit about, obviously, he's just sick, probably the flu, but losing 15 pounds and then trying to gain back your strength and gain back weight during the Major League Baseball season is not easy. There was one year I went into spring training weighing 220 pounds, and within a couple of months, I weighed 180 pounds. You lose a lot of weight. Again, I was playing in Florida in the heat of the summer, and it was brutal. It's a little bit different, but it is tough to gain weight during the season, and Mookie's starting behind the 8 ball here and now going to miss the first 2 games of the year, which just stinks for him. I feel terrible. I saw a video of him walking off the field the other day, and he's just hobbling and just looked like a shell of himself. So we will not see Mookie Betts. Hopefully he's back very soon. And opening day, which is 10 days away, the official opening day for Major League Baseball, 10 days away, March 27th. Hopefully he's there, back and ready for that. Some new faces on each team, though. The Dodgers, just in the World Series, we all know the Dodgers and have seen them a lot. But even they were the best team in baseball last year, and this year on paper, they're starting the year even better. They added Blake Snell, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, 1 in the American League, 1 in the National League. Then you have Michael Conforto in the outfield, Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates as relief, as bullpen help. Hae-Sung Kim added to the Dodgers coming over from Korea. He is actually starting the year in the minor leagues, though. He was optioned to the minors and will not be playing in the Tokyo series. On the Cubs side of things, some new faces. You got their best player on their team, Kyle Tucker, is a new addition coming over from the Astros. Huge pickup for the Chicago Cubs there. So Kyle Tucker, Ryan Presley, and the bullpen also from the Astros. You have Matthew Boyd as a starting pitcher. We won't see him as a starter, at least in this series. And Justin Turner over to be, I guess you could say, a corner infield guy, but mostly probably a DH. And you will see Matt Shaw, who's their top prospect in the Tokyo series, expected to be their everyday third baseman. So I can't wait for this. I think the Cubs are going to be pretty good this year. They're certainly going to be battling it out atop the NL Central there I have the Reds winning. I just did the NL Central preview. I do have the Reds winning that division, but the Reds, the Cubs, all going to be good. Brewers fighting for that top spot. We'll see what happens there. But this Cubs team is going to be good. Kyle Tucker is an absolute superstar in this league. We'll see him in Game 1 and Game 2 of this series. Game 1 here tonight in just a couple hours. We'll be doing multiple shows throughout this. Obviously, this show, the Tokyo series preview, update, whatever you want to call it. And then after Game 1, there will be a show. And after Game 2, there will be another show recapping everything that happened. Probably coming out around the same time as this, which is around 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern time, and I think that's 7 a.m. in Japan. So be on the lookout. Shohei Ohtani is heading back to Japan, and what this means for the game of baseball, I don't think he can quite put it into words. This is massive for the sport, massive for Shohei, massive for Japan, and I can't wait to talk about it every single step of the way. So please make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever. Hit that subscribe button. It does really help. Leave a 5-star review. Also, you can watch any and everything we do on our YouTube channel. Flippin' Bats Pod is our YouTube channel. Leave a comment, subscribe. That all really helps, and I love getting back to you guys in the comments. And follow us on all social media at Flippin' Bats Pod, any and everywhere. We are 10 days away from the official Major League Baseball opening day, but we are just a few hours away from the official first pitch of the Major League Baseball season. These games do count, and these teams are going to be good and very fun to watch this year. I can't wait. I will be up early, ready to talk all about it tomorrow. Thank you all for listening. 2025, the year of Flippin' Bats. This is going to be a huge year for baseball, a huge year for the show. We have a World Baseball Classic coming up next offseason, so things are rolling. I love you guys. I love this community so much. It means the world to me, and that's what this show is all about. It's all about this sport, celebrating this sport we all know and love, and I appreciate you all listening and being a part of this community along the way. So thank you all. Until next time, enjoy the Tokyo series. Game 1, just a couple hours away. Yoshinobu Yamamoto against Shota Imanaga on the mound. Enjoy it. I know I will, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Remember, until next time, find your bat and flip it. Peace.